Hello adventurers, it is I, Solo Adventure, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is a world building Wednesday kind of day. So meaning I'll be sharing some updates on a few different projects that I'm working on. This is a mix of projects that I do want to release and then just my own personal projects that I'm just kind of doing for fun and to just kind of sharpen that creativity and world building skill as well. So for the first update, we are going to be talking about my little tabletop RPG dungeon crawling game, Dungeoneer for Hire. So I'm just going to pull up my notes here to share with you just a list of different things that I'm updating in this project. So, all right, well, first things first, Dungeoneer for Hire is almost done. I do have to adjust some of the dexterity and charisma saves. I don't have a table here, but a few of my friends and I, when we were play testing this, we kind of realized that the 1d4 I think is just too hard to get a 4 as a success, and so we tested it out with a 1d6, and anything above a 5 is a success, and that one I feel like the probability of getting a success is a lot higher than a 1d4. So we changed that, making sure that, you know, it's not too easy, but it's not impossible to get a success on a dexterity and a charisma save. So that's something that we are adjusting. And then we are also adjusting combat stats for monsters and Dungeoneers as well. And so, oh yeah. Okay, so for one thing, we felt like the health points were a bit like too high, and so we did adjust it for 1 and 2. So if you get a 1 or a 2, they're actually going to be a 5 or a 7. So that's kind of one thing that we adjusted. Another thing that we adjusted, so for the monster / Dungeoneer attack combat table, so we did a 1d4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's just going to be increasing by 1. So for the first one, if you get a 1d4, if you get a 1 on a 1d4 roll, they would be attacking you for 1d4 plus 0. And then if a 2, 1d4 plus 1. If a 3, 1d4 plus 2. And then if a 4, 1d4 plus 3. So basically, like, the highest amount that they could be attacking you for would be 7. So there is that update. And then there was just a few like misspellings and grammars. And so I am going to be changing that as well. What else? Oh yes, I forgot to write this down. But one thing that a few of you have commented on, like the last playthrough, I think it would be a good idea to actually add a healing potion as a start. And so I think for starter weapons, when you create your character, so you will be given an ability modifier of your choice. So you will get a +1 modifier that you can choose for any ability here, and then of course the +1 that is correlated to your employer. If you don't remember, that would be like if you're working for Albie the wizard, you will get a +1 charisma. For Zara, that would be a +1 dexterity. For Gorath the blacksmith, that'll be a +1 strength. So that would be another thing to add to your ability modifiers. Or sorry, that's a reminder of what you can add to your ability modifiers. And you'll start with a starter weapon. I don't think we changed. Yeah, after reviewing that, I don't think I changed the weapons table is pretty much the same there. But what else? I will be adding an extra slot here for pendants. So you can have a total of 3 pendants on your character. So you can get 2 basic pendants that you can equip, and then you can only have 1 better ability pendant. So if you look here, let's see. Oh yes. So a basic ability pendant would give you a +1 to any of your choice. And then if you end up rolling on the legendary, or sorry, if you end up rolling on the loot table and you get a legendary item, and you can choose one of these below, you can choose a 1 better ability pendant, and that'll give you +2 to any check there. So that I think would be a lot easier for the player. And then let's see. I think those are all the updates, yeah, for this one. But yeah, I've been getting like really good comments and feedback that the rules are pretty like straightforward, especially since I want this to cater to folks who have honestly never played like D&D before, for example, or have never played a dungeon crawling adventure. I want to make it as simple as possible, with just worrying about 3 different ability modifiers. And then, as well as, I also just want people to get used to, you know, different types of dice rolls and stuff. So, let's see what else. Oh, I did want to create a flowchart, so that'll be like separate. So right now, I have 2 separate files that I will eventually upload onto itch.io, but I do want to make a 3rd one, and the 3rd one will be to create a flowchart. So I basically want the flowchart to be like, you choose a room, the next step would be to roll on the encounters table, and then whatever the result is, the next step would either be a dex save, charisma save, an encounter, so that would be a monster, a dungeoneer, etc. So yeah, I think I do want to make just like a really basic flow chart. Hopefully that'll help folks out that aren't really familiar with that. But oh, I did increase this as well. So the wooden shield, you can block up to 3 attacks there. And then if a monster attacks you more than 3, the remainder of the attacks would go to your character's health. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's it. So honestly, after I make these edits and like playtest a couple more times, I'll probably send it over to a few people to playtest, and then I'm hoping to release this end of this month. Yeah, because I think honestly this is pretty close to being done. So yeah, I'm really excited for folks to download it and play. This game is honestly just like a passion project of mine, and I really hope people enjoy playing this one. So yeah, okay, so that is the update for Dungeoneer for Hire. And then my other update is Valodir, the fantasy adventure game. I'm excited about this project because I have been trying to find different fantasy sandbox adventure games, and I do love Killforth. Killforth is such a great game, and it does like have that sandboxy like feel, that board game. I really wanted a mix of that tabletop role-playing kind of feel for a character, and so this is Valodir, the fantasy adventure, and this is the region of Valodir. So it's still in the works, but I have come up with 4 different regions, and there will be 4 different races. So there will be dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans, and then 4 types of classes: cleric, fighter, magic user, and thief. So I am using a few things. So I am using this amazing sandbox generator book that has been helping me kind of think of different things that I can add to the map. And so like cities, towns, NPCs, castles, etc. And so I think I'm gonna be using this book as I'm trying to design the map here. But yeah, so that is a tool that I'm using. Another tool, so basically the system that I want to use is this one, Basic Fantasy 4th edition. And so I do feel like for the most part, I think I am going to be keeping the rules, but I think a big thing though, I know I do have to like adjust, would probably be like combat. So there are some like solo rules that I found online about like combat and stuff. So I am definitely going to be adjusting some of the stats there. But yeah, I honestly just don't want this game to have like a big overarching campaign. I literally just want characters to go on quests, go through like combat and encounters and just like explore, and I want them to like level up. So yeah, it's honestly just like a really simple kind of like game that I want it to be. I don't want it to be like this huge campaign and then there's an end. I literally just want it to be this open world that I can explore. And I might add a fate chart. I am thinking about using this OSR solo role-playing guide, because I did notice that I really like the tables here for complex questions. So I'm thinking of actually using this as a guide for when my characters are in town and there's like a job post and they see that it's a quest or something, and I could like roll on the table to like see what type of quest they're trying to like go on. And so yeah, that's kind of the main thing I am kind of using out of this guide. And then I don't know, yeah, about the fate chart, I think I do want to add that. We'll see how it works. I still need to like map it out, but I also want there to be a night phase. So basically, the day starts with the PC having all these actions. I think I was gonna do like 5 actions that they can do in a day, and then after those actions, then would be the night phase. So I got that idea from Gloom of Kilforth. So I want to add encounters during the night phase when they are traveling like in the wilderness or in the dungeon, maybe they're trying to like make camp. But then when I pull a night phase card, let's see, is it safe at night, or is there like a surprise attack from a goblin or orcs or something? So yeah, that's kind of what I want that night phase to be. And then night phase would be safe, so meaning like nothing bad will happen to the character when they are staying in a town or in a village. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I want to do. So yeah, I am really excited. I have obviously gotten inspiration from Gloom of Kilforth, and another game, 7 Moons by Gunpowder Studios. That's also another really great game. I'm actually wanting to do a playthrough of that on Friday. It's a really fun exploration kind of game. But yeah, I got kind of this idea of making my own board game after I like played 7 Moons and Gloom of Kilforth, and I was like, you know what? It would be really cool if I could make my own kind of tabletop RPG board game. And so yeah, that's kind of what I am doing with this project. Let's see, what else? And let's see here. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking for like, there's going to be different categories of actions. there could be adventure actions, and then encounter and combat actions. So adventure actions could be like traveling, visiting a town, and then talking to NPCs, etc. And then encounter would be like combat or traps, monsters, probably trying to open like locked doors or locked chests or something. So yeah, those are going to be kind of like two categories of actions. I am still kind of stuck on like traveling. And so, because I don't have hex crawl paper, and because originally I wanted to make this map on like a hex crawl kind of graph paper, but I do not have a printer that's like easy access for me. And I don't know, I think what I want to do is actually track kind of how far my PC can travel by miles. So I think like if my PC is going to do like an adventure action and they want to travel, I think I'm going to give them like a limit of, I don't know, like maybe like 10 miles a day or something. I don't know. But I don't want traveling to be like too complicated. Like I don't want them to have to worry too much about like, oh, how much can my character like carry? And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna have like a quote unquote like inventory system where they have this like chest that will reside in different like towns, maybe so they can drop off certain items in those like chests depending on like the town that they're in or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, I obviously don't have a lot like mapped out, but it is going to be like a pretty like complicated game, and I kind of want it to be like complicated. Like I do want this to be just like an open world that I can like explore. It kind of is reminding me of like that video game kind of style of like board games, like Skyrim for example. And so yeah, I'm just excited to like see where my creativity will kind of go and how it would flow with this. So oh, yes, and I forgot. So I am going to be using this as a book for maps. So obviously this will be the overarching map of Valodir as a whole. And then on like these different pages, I want them to be like maps of like towns. And then I want to dive deeper into that. So maybe like in that town, I will put on like the next page like a map of like how the tavern looks like, or on this page maybe they are visiting the blacksmith, and this page will have a map of like the blacksmith shop, etc. And then for, I think I'm gonna put here, I kind of drew it here, but these little symbols are going to be like crypts and like dungeons that my character can explore. And with that, I'm actually going to be using these wooden little like pieces here as representing my characters and monsters. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw like just like a generic like dungeon like tile map here, and then I will have like my character here like start in like this little like square, and then the monsters will be coming out like on this side, and then we will commence in combat. And so I would use like my movement action, and then the monsters will use their movement action, and then I'll probably like roll dice or something to figure out how much they would attack me for, etc. So that's how I kind of want to use it. And then I do want to use these cards that I found when I was shopping around with my partner. These are actually kind of quote-unquote trading card like sizes. And so I think I will have like the start of the level of the dungeon, or sorry, the door to the dungeon, and then this would be the door to the next level of the dungeon. And then there will probably be like 3 levels for each dungeon. And then the dungeon rooms will be represented on these cards. And so I would be like shuffling them up, and then I can choose like 3 different like dungeon rooms I want to pick, and I can choose which one that I want to like enter into, and then that'll commence combat, and then yeah, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm excited. I want this to be just like a long-term for fun type of like project. So honestly, I don't think I'm gonna like release this like at all and post this on itch.io, just because I think like I think how I want it to work will make sense in my head, and it'll be really hard to like show people kind of what goes on in my mind with like the flow of play. So honestly, I don't even want to like stress with that. It'll just be like a for fun art project, a for fun design and creative project. So yeah, so that is Valodir, the fantasy adventure game that I am making. And again, these are the tools that I'll be using here. So I'll be using the fate chart from this. This is a really great sandbox generator for just random stuff that you want to put in your world. And then I'll be using this system, but I'll be adding some rules for the solo player. So I want this to be like a solo only kind of like board game. And so I don't have to worry about like managing 3 different characters or whatever. So yeah, so that is a little bit about my solo tabletop RPG project updates. And again, yeah, I will keep you guys posted on any other updates. So I'm really excited, and I'm honestly so thankful that you guys have been really enjoying my content. I cannot thank you enough for all the support. I just love the creativity and the flow, and I really hope it really inspires you guys too to try solo tabletop RPG games. Try making your own like design and game as well. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, and I will see you next time.